When you think of villains in One Piece, most of the time, characters like Doflamingo and Kaido are going to come to mind. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Charlotte Katakuri. Is he really a villain, or is he something different? Let's break it down. So, to first understand why Katakuri isn't a villain, we need to see what defines a villain. The definition of a villain from Google is a cruelly malicious person who is involved in or devoted to wickedness or crime. When you read this doesn't exactly link to Katakuri. And we can see with other villains in One Piece, their characteristics are usually very cruel and driven by personal gain and evilness or malice. So, we can see these Doflamingo, Blackbeard, Kaido. But Katakuri is a little different. First of all, most of these other villains don't have very good reasons to do these horrible things. Blackbeard wants to become the Pirate King, but that doesn't mean he has to do unspeakable things while on the journey. A good example of this is the Straw Hats. Doflamingo wants to become a king. Doesn't mean he has to, brainwash people of Dressrosa. But Katakuri actually has a valid reason to fight Luffy and do the things he does. Luffy is a brain-damaged monkey going around his mom's territory, terrorizing people and hurting his siblings. So, this just shows... So, Katakuri is just upholding his family's reputation, keeping his family safe, and, obviously, you gotta do something about this brain-damaged bum, right? Because it's not like he was the one that's like, guys, we gotta go get Sanji and arrange him a marriage with Pudding, right? Exactly. When we see a lot of this throughout Whole Cake, especially with Brûlée and their relationship since they were a kid, as you can see in Katakuri's backstory. Katakuri also has a very strong sense of honor, which we can see most in Luffy's fight. When Flampe, the bean girl, shot Luffy with, an invisible trank, which slowed him down for a bit, which let Katakuri get a free hit with his spear. And this made Luffy basically take a chunk out of his liver. So when Katakuri realized that this was from an outsider, from Flampe, he stabbed himself to keep the battle fair, so they have the same injuries. Another example is with Luffy's strength and determination. Even though Luffy was an enemy, Katakuri could still respect that he was very determined to evolve during the fight and that he was strong. He also tries to uphold the status of being perfect and invincible to keep his family safer, and he always tries to protect the weak. We can also see he has a strong sense of duty in his backstory, where people always made fun of him because, his mouth was ripped, and people thought of him of a monster because he was so strong, but he never hurt anyone because of this. The only time he did hurt anybody was when they laid hands on Brûlée. While Katakuri was one of Luffy's hardest enemies, he's not evil. His actions mostly stem from his loyalty, his honor, and protecting his family. He might be considered morally gray, but this doesn't make him evil. The only thing that's, a little weird was, when Luffy pulled back up and he broke the house that Katakuri was sitting in, and then Katakuri instantly killed those damn chefs. But I guess you could link that to being, trying to uphold his perfect status to keep his family safe, but I don't know, that can't really be justified. I feel all of these points come together to prove that Katakuri isn't a villain, but an anti-hero. He's a layered character who's loyal to his family and has a deep respect for his opponents, and stands out as one of the most honorable characters in One Piece.
Care for an apple?
Do you take us for idiots? We'd never trust food from someone like you.
Hey, look, apples!
Move it!